Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for coming back. Right, being upfront, sorry for not uploading much lately. For those of you who live in the UK, or maybe around the world, my geography, whatever it is, knowledge isn't very good, but it's hay fever season in UK. It started early, it'll probably go on for a while. These past couple of years I've been getting it and I get it badly, and I feel like death. But the Critics' Choice Awards are on Saturday slash early Sunday morning for me, and obviously I've got to go through my predictions. So, starting with Best Picture, like Golden Globes wasn't enough to indicate this to us. Nomadland is winning the Critics' Choice Awards. It's probably got the best chance any film has in years of being a clean sweeper in all the Best Picture awards at PGA, BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Oscars, and it's already got Golden Globes. I do think that Trial of Chicago 7 can be a threat in other places, but I'm gonna explain that more in my other videos. I may even make a separate video on it because I may end up still predicting Trial of Chicago 7. But for now, I'm obviously going with Nomadland. I mean, the Golden Globes did teach us there can always be a surprise, but it would be not wise to not predict Nomadland. I'd actually say the runner-up isn't Trial of Chicago 7, but Promising Young Woman, because next to Nomadland, Promising Young Woman has been winning at these critic circles, at picture and director in particular, some even actress. But at the same time, when I watched Promising Young Woman, I didn't get this overwhelming feeling of, oh my god, this is a critics film. So Nomadland definitely has the far edge in my opinion. Minari and Sound of Metal could be a really weird what the fuck surprise. Last year they gave it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when that was number 3, so it just goes to show you never know what you're going to get at these award shows. And Minari and Sound of Metal has been really loved, especially by critics, so watch out. Everyone thought Man could be the critics films, but it didn't even get nominated much, let alone win at these critics circles. And even though the Critics' Choice Awards is a bit more mainstream than these critics circles, I still don't think Mank's winning, and Mank isn't a mainstream film either, so. And then One Night Miami, The Five Bloods, Ma Rainey, and definitely News of the World are just like honourable mention nominees. Like, nice to have you here. You're not winning, but we'll show appreciation for you. Best Director. Oh my god, Chloe Zhao is winning. It's more locked than picture. If Chloe Zhao doesn't win, it will be Emerald Fennell because she's been the person next to her winning these critic circles. But Chloe Zhao's had this overwhelming leap in the critic circles, and people thought maybe David Fincher could surprise at the Golden Globes and stir things up, but Chloe Zhao still won at the Golden Globes as well, and it just shows this overwhelming support for her, even at the Golden Globes. If she doesn't win at the Critics' Choice Awards, it'll be disgusting. I will not know what to do with myself. Especially when you look over the past few years, Critics' Choice don't seem to surprise in director. Last year, they gave it to Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, but even still, it tied with Sam Mendes of 1917, who was the original frontrunner for the Oscars. So it just goes to show Critics' Choice does tell you a lot about who's going to win the Oscar. Sometimes they can have disgusting snubs, like do you want to know something cool? Well, not cool, but fascinating. Disgustingly fascinating. They snubbed Paul Thomas Anderson for There Will Be Blood. But this year there doesn't seem to be that. Even Spike Lee made it in for Defy Bloods, and even Regina King and Aaron Sorkin, in the two that I thought could be snubbable. David Fincher, if he's going to win anywhere else at this point, which is unlikely, it will probably be DGA before Oscar. Even still, that's probably not going to happen, and he's definitely not winning the Critics' Choice. Lee Isaac Chung would be actually quite a nice win. Minari is so good, and I really want to gain more hype, and maybe this will be a place to do it, but it's unlikely. Best Actress. Just when we thought the Golden Globes would clear up for us, they did the most unexpected thing. I thought it was between Carey Mulligan, Frances McDormand, Viola Davis, and Vanessa Kirby. And then out of those 4 women, out of those 4 out of 5 women, they go with the one that no one was predicting. I haven't seen The United States versus Billie Holiday, so I can't comment on my thoughts on whether it's a critics film, but that 100-Day Surprise really shows that maybe there is love and support for her performance, especially when it's not been well critically acclaimed. And maybe she could pull off the surprise here as well, and then maybe SAG could have been a fluke, and who knows, maybe she could be the frontrunner for the Oscar in the end. But for now, I'm going to stick with Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman, who has ever so slightly the edge over Frances McDormand. If Frances McDormand hadn't won a couple of years ago, I'd be thinking that she'd be winning here. But this is like Carey Mulligan's year. She's been getting so much hype for Promising Young Woman, and I feel like Critics' Choice Awards will want to honour that. But that's not to take away from the fact McDormand could win, because it's the more critics' performance. My problem with her winning is that it's very kind of silent role. It's very kind of withdrawn. Her character is withdrawn. Nothing to do with her performance, but it does kind of give a little bit of doubt. My number three is Andra Day, because like I said, she could end up just sweeping. She could end up that SAG snub could have maybe just be one of those things, and she could end up winning everywhere. Which is very fascinating to who's going to win the SAG. Vanessa Kirby is my personal pick for Best Actress, but that's not happening anymore. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom just isn't winning anywhere by looks of things now, because one, it's more of a supporting role, and two, it's kind of more of Chadwick Boseman show in that film, and I just can't see her taking the hype at this point. And then Zendaya was a surprise nomination, probably not going to win. Same goes for Sydney Flanagan. Best Actor. Okay, if there's one acting category that's most likely to end up sweeping, it will be Chadwick Boseman for leading actor. Look, he's died. He's equally as good as Chadwick Boseman, Riz Ahmed, and Anthony Hopkins, and Daryl Lindawar in those films. But in this year, where the performances are equally as good, and you've got a performance that you can give it to a person who sadly passed away, it does seem like the right thing to do, and I do feel like all these the award circle's going to do it. In fact, Golden Globes maybe would have been the most likely not to give it to him, because they had Anthony Hopkins, who I've heard is amazing in The Father, and it would have been their time to give it to him then. But giving it to Chadwick Boseman still just shows this overwhelming amount of hype for him and his performance, and I think he's going to make it all the way. This is the one category where I feel like there will be a sweep. I actually think the surprise could be Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, because that's a very critics film. People love the Sound of Metal, especially his and Paul Race's performances. That's the thing that people are taking away from Sound of Metal the most, and the sound, of course. My pick for Best Actor last year was Delroy Lindo. After the brutal Golden Globes and SAG snubs, it's just not going to happen for him now, like, almost no doubt in my mind. If he had got Golden Globes and SAGs, I would be talking about the fact that he could maybe win, because that is a critics film, and like, the whole him getting nominated Critics' Choice doesn't even make me that happy, because I know that the critics love Da 5 Bloods. The only way I'm going to think he has hope of getting an Oscar nomination is if he makes it for BAFTA. But even still then, it doesn't really tell you how much hype there is, because there's six categories now. There's 6 slots now, so maybe he was the 6th slot if he does get nominated. And the same goes for here. Who knows if he is in the top 5, because there's 8 nominees. I do love how up in the air these acting categories have got, but Best Actor is the most predictable one in my opinion. Best Supporting Actress. Jodie Foster, who won the Golden Globe, is not here. So, maybe I'm having a little bit too much faith in Minari. I was at Glasgow Film Festival and I did see Minari. I didn't review it, but I loved it, and I really want Yoo Jung-yoon to win. I really want her to win. And you know what? I don't care that she missed Golden Globe. I feel like there is this opening for her to win, and I really hope it happens for her. She is amazing in Minari. And not only that though, Minari is the critics' film, and her and my number 2, Maria Bakalova, has been sweeping the critics awards. But I do feel like if it's going to be one of them two, it will be Yoo Jung-yoon who takes the edge. Maria Bakalova is my number 2 because even though she missed Golden Globe lead actress Rosamund Pike in a complete overwhelming shocker, I still think that she's got a shot to win here. I'm a little bit pessimistic about whether she still gets BAFTA and Oscar nomination, but critics have proven that they love her performance in that film and appreciate it. Glenn goes for Hillbilly Elegy. Even if she does go on to win the Oscar, is she gonna win here for Hillbilly Elegy? Oh, I don't know. Like, it seems a bit odd, like something that they wouldn't usually do. And I understand everybody wants to get on board this train of give Glencoe to Oscar, but it happened a couple of years ago and it didn't work. And are they going to want to do it again? I don't know. And she's not overdue at Critics' Choice at all. So that's been taken away from her. Mad C3 for Mank would maybe be my number 3 or 2, but after missing the SAG and the fact that Mank isn't the film that's really resonating with critics, nor has she been winning many critic circles, it kind of makes me doubt that she could win. Olivia Colman for The Father, to be fair, could happen. I think anybody from this top 5 could happen, and this is what I mean. I just love how unpredictable this whole race got. And then Ellen Burstyn for Pieces of a Woman, which would be amazing, but after missing everywhere else, it makes me not really want to vote for her. Like, how could she happen at this point? Best Supporting Actor. Come on, Daniel Kaluuya. Everything's in favour of you. You've got Golden Globes. Go and get that Critics' Choice Award. Go and get it. Come on, Critics' Choice. Don't let me down. I really hope you made the right decision with Daniel Kaluuya for choosing the Black Messiah. Leslie Odom Jr. and Paul Raci would also be deserving, but I'm rooting for Daniel Kaluuya as he seems the most likely to win the Oscar, and his bigger threat is Sacha Baron Cohen. And with a Critics' Choice win, it will just help give him this extra boost. Paul Raci could happen. I know he's missed Golden Globe and SAG, but remember, this is the Critics' Choice Awards. Golden Globes have surprised. This is an unpredictable year, clearly. Maybe Paul Raci will just take the edge. Critics have shown that they love the sound of metal. Maybe this will just be an extra layer on the cake to show that they love it. Sacha Baron Cohen's my number 4, which you may be surprised about, seeing as he could win the Oscar, even though his chances have dipped since Kaluuya's won the Golden Globe. But is he really going to win here? No, I don't think so. I mean, to be fair, critics have been showing that they do like Charles Chicago 7. I think Aaron Sorkin has more critics nomination than David Fincher does, which is shocking. But just goes to show, maybe critics don't like Mank that much. Chadwick Boseman's my number 5. I guess it's nice to see him nominated because he's passed, and it's nice to see him have 2 nominations, but I don't think he's going to win. And then Bill Murray's just definitely not happening. I'm surprised he made it in, if I'm being honest. Best Original Screenplay. I'm still sticking with the Trial of Chicago 7. He's won Golden Globe. Aaron Sorkin's won Golden Globe. He's probably going to get Writers Guild Awards. He's got a very good shot at BAFTA and Oscar. Why not predict him here? Promising Young Woman could win here. It is definitely the runner-up for Screenplay at all these other ceremonies. And if the Critics' Choice Awards don't like Trial of Chicago 7, this would be where Promising Young Woman will win, even if it doesn't get anywhere else. I'd be happy with a Promising Young Woman win. I've got to be honest, I do really like Charles Chicago 7, and I am a big supporter of it, a lot more than I think a lot of other people are. But equally, I'm happy to see Promising Young Woman win if it does win. And to be fair, Critics' Choice can pull surprises in original screenplay. Last year, they gave it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They gave it to Get Out the year that everyone thought it wasn't winning the Oscar. And maybe this is where Promising Young Woman starts to gain its hype. But going off the odds, I'm sticking with Charles Chicago 7. Best Adapted Screenplay. Hold your horses. Please calm down. Stay calm. I know, I'm going on a bit of a limb on this one. Nomadland isn't really much of a screenplay film. Let's be honest. It's not badly written a film, but for the type of film it is, it's written about as well as it could be. So, I'm actually giving The Father the edge. I know it missed Best Picture criminally. I haven't seen it, but why would you give it to The Father? Why would you give it to News of the World over The Father? But from what I've heard and the clips I've seen, The Father seems like a much more screenplay film. It's based on a play, which kind of adds to that in my opinion. I've asked other people whether this is true, and they say it's true. So you know what? I am going to give The Father the edge. It may be their way of apologising for not nominating it in Best Picture, because I don't think Anthony Hopkins winning, I don't think Olivia Colman's winning, and I don't think it's winning Entity. One Night in Miami and Matt Rainey are equally screenplay films. One Night in Miami does have the edge, as it's like the very dialogue-heavy film, and it's much more witty. And then First Cow, News of the World. I haven't seen First Cow, but News of the World nomination is just a bit of a joke, if I'm being honest. But it's probably going to get the Oscar, so yay! Best Film Ensemble. Come on, Charles Chicago 7 is winning. It's the ensemble film of this year. Everyone loves Charles Chicago 7, even though I think Critics' Choice are still giving it to Nomadland. You can't deny the ensemble when Charles Chicago 7 is top notch. I will admit it does have a bit of an unfair advantage because it's very actor heavy, got a lot of stars in. They may go with Matt Rainey's Black Bottom, because the problem with Charles Chicago 7, as great of an ensemble as it is, there's no women. It's a load of white men and one black guy. So are they really gonna wanna do that? I think that they will, but if they realise that, maybe they'll go Matt Rainey's Black Bottom and Minari, both equally as great ensembles in their own different ways. And One Night in Miami. Honestly, any film can win here and I'll be happy. This is the one category where I don't care too much, because if Judas wins, I'll be happy. Defy Bloods wins, I'll be happy. One Night in Miami, I'll be happy. Minari will be happy. Matt Rainey, I'll be happy. The Trial of Chicago 7, I'll be happy. All round, I'll be happy. Yay! Best Young Actor or Actress. Let's be honest, it's going to be Helen Zengel. She's been getting supporting actress nominations everywhere so far, except from Critics' Choice, where she's suitably nominated here. The runner-up would be Alan Kim from Minari, because Minari is a much more likely Best Picture nominee than News of the World. But equally, Helen Zengel is actually very good in News of the World. I'll happily see her get nominated here. Best foreign film, Minari. Let's be honest, it's nominated. Oh shit! Let's make sure I'm right on this one. Yep, it is. It's nominated in Best Film. It's the only film nominated in Best Film, so it kind of wouldn't make sense not to give it to Minari, because if it's nominated in Best Picture, it says that it's the best of these. The surprise will be another round, because that is the pure foreign film, and I don't think Minari should be here because it's a foreign language film, but it's not a foreign film. But this is what we got to go with, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's going to be Minari. I just want to say, I saw Live Ahead recently. Very fucking good. Go watch it. I liked it a lot. And La Llorona and Collective I've also seen. I like them both a lot. Haven't seen two of us. I've got no interest in it. Best cinematography. Yeah. No Man Land's going to win here. For a long time, people thought Mank was a front runner, but once an extensive amount of people saw Nomadland and they saw how inventive the use of cinematography was, it's quite hard to deny it's the front runner. Yes, Mank gets very good cinematography, but we were kind of fooled by all those stills that we first saw, and then I think kind of Twitter took the hype that Mank was winning. But now it's safe to say that it's not happening, because those stills that we saw back in like October, those were like the best shots from the film, and then the rest of the film looks very good. No doubt in my mind looks very good, as all David Fincher films do, but I just can't see it winning. Like, come on, give it to Nomadland. Nomadland looks gorgeous. First Cow, to be fair, could also pull the critics' choice surprise. There's usually one every year. Last year it was Dolomite My Name in costumes and 1917 in editing, so it does show that they do it. And I am expecting it to happen in a couple of categories in this year, particularly. So you know what? I'd actually say watch out for First Cow. This does seem like the most likely category that could happen, but still, I'm not going to bet against Nomadland for the time being. Best costume designs. It's Ma Rainey or Mank. Flip a coin, and whatever lands on, make that your pick. I think it could be these two. Some people have discussed whether Emma could win, which is a fair enough discussion. It could happen, and if it went here, I will predict it for the Oscars, because I have considered in my head whether Emma could win here, because they gave it to Little Women last year. Wait, no, the Oscars gave it to Little Women last year, and if Emma wins here, then it'll probably be enough for me to predict it for the Oscar, because Little Women and Emma are very similar in terms of costumes. Emma's just a bit more colourful, which may help it. Promising Young Woman, I've actually come to terms with a lot more. At first, I didn't really think it deserved costume nominations, but I guess now, rewatching the film, the costumes really do tell you a lot about the characters and really helps thrive the story. So looking back on it now, I do think it's a deserved nomination, but I definitely wouldn't give it the win over Ma Rainey, Mank, and Emma in particular. Mulan and Personal History, David Copperfield, I could do without, but equally, I don't really care that they're nominated. Best editing, probably Trial of Chicago 7, because I've said it once, I'll say it again, the editing is the directing in Trial of Chicago 7. Without the editing, it wouldn't be as good as it is. Yes, I stand by Trial of Chicago 7 is a competently directed film and it doesn't deserve the criticism it's got. So that's probably going to take the edge. If they just love Nomadland and really want to shower it with love, maybe this will be... If they love Nomadland and just want to shower it with love, maybe they'll give it to it here. But that being said, the editing isn't very noticeable in Nomadland, nor would I say it's really all that awards worthy, so I'm not sure whether I agree with giving it the edge over Trial of Chicago 7. If Charles Carson wins anywhere, I want it to be here in original screenplays. I feel like that's where it's most deserved. Sound of Metal equally could win. The editing in that film is fantastic, and I would not be disappointed with the surprise at all. It would be very much a critic's choice win, but equally, I'm happy to see it win just here. But it win here than nowhere. You know what I mean? Best hair and makeup. Look, I think it's going to hit a bit. I think it's going to Hillbilly Elegy. I know a lot of people think it's going to be Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which could happen and is deserved, but Glenn Close in that film is so transformative, and over the past few years, with films like Vice, Bombshell, and Darkest Hour, they clearly appreciate those type of makeup films more, and that's definitely what Hillbilly Elegy is. Viola Davis isn't really transformed. She's just wearing an awful lot of makeup to fit the character she's playing, but you can still very much tell it's Viola Davis. So for that reason, I'm giving Hillbilly Elegy the edge. Mank in United States vs. Billie Holiday would be weird. I'm not really sure whether I think it's deserved, because they're just replicating older stars, and I think I'm not trying to be arrogant, but it's not as tricky as what they did in Hillbilly Elegy or Matt Rainey. Same goes for Emma and Promising Young Woman. Even though Promising Young Woman did actually have some very good contemporary makeup, and I do feel like that sometimes goes against the film, but in this case, I wouldn't say. I'd say it goes against it, but equally, I don't think it's deserved. So, how disappointing can I say it will be? Best score. So, if we're being honest, so it's got Golden Globe. It's probably going to win here. It's probably going to get BAFTA. It's just going to sweep, if we're being honest. Soul is a brilliant score. I'm happy to see that it qualified for the Oscars, so John Batiste can also get his Oscar because he had a lot to do with the score. The runner-up would be Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Mank, but when Soul and winning all the Critics Awards, it's just sensible to go with Soul, and it's gonna win, if we're being honest. I could see Tenet. I have this weird feeling, even though Tenet could still get snubbed for the Oscar, that it's gonna get a surprise win somewhere, because the best thing about Tenet was its score, and it's just so kind of noticeable when watching the film. It's kind of hard to go against it, and it's my favourite score out of all these films, if I'm being honest. Yes, I want Soul to win, but Tenet is my favourite. Best song. Okay. I know OC from Life Ahead won the Golden Globe. I'm not ready to change my prediction yet. I feel like that's the Golden Globe sucking up to Diane Warren a bit. I still think Speaking Out from Night Miami will win because it is the better song. Yeah, I know I'm biased, but let's just be honest, it is definitely over the Life Ahead song, and I feel like Critics' Choice will appreciate that and give it the win. Like, I appreciate people want to see Diane Warren see a win, and that's fair enough, and I won't care too much because I don't even like the original song category. I don't believe in it. I don't think it should be there, but I just don't think she's that good of a songwriter, and I've never understood this craving people have to see her win. But maybe that will be what happens. But I'm not ready to give her the edge yet, and I'm sticking with Speak Now. Best production design, Manx winning. It's won basically all of the Critics' Choice circles, only missing a couple here and there. Not much at all. It is the overwhelming frontrunner. It's just gonna win. It's like makeup for Darkest Hour. It's just gonna happen. Marrying's Black Bottom, Emma would be the upsets maybe, but like I'm not gonna go on about this too much because I'm just speculating stuff that won't happen. Mank's gonna win. Be prepared to see it take the stage. And finally, visual effects. A couple of weeks ago, I would have had Invisible Man as my number one, but seeming as it didn't even make the shortlist for the Oscars, it's made me lose all hope in it. It Oh, and the VFX Society Award nominations came out, and it was completely stunned there as well. Just how could you do that? But anyway, let's not dwell on that too much because it's the most likely to get Best Picture nominee out of Mank, even though it's still not happening. Ten will probably win because it's the most obvious visual effects films outside of The Midnight Sky, and the reverse thing is very cool. I feel like people won't be able to help but tick the box for Tenet because Critics' Choice do love Christopher Nolan, and they've clearly shown their love for Tenet. Nominating it in production design, editing, and visual effects. I can't see why it stopped here. Wonder Woman 1984 could happen because it was the only superhero film that came out last year, and maybe they'll want to appreciate the only superhero film that came out, but nah, it's going to be Tenet. Anyway, ladies and gents, that's my Critics' Choice winners predictions. I hope you enjoyed this vid. Oh, I forgot to mention at the start. Please remember to scan these barcodes, go to links in the comments, or follow the names directly on the screens to follow my social medias. But until next time, ladies and gents, so long for now.